Ronnie. Thank you for coming back to my office today. You've been at Greenhouse for about a month now, and I know that I spoke with you last time about your insurance and everything. So I wanted to speak about something specific about your discharge plan if you think you're ready.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm ready.
All right, yeah. So we're going to be going over your relapse prevention plan today.
Okay.
All right. And I made us a little printout just so that way, I'm sure obviously you know what a relapse is, but a lot of this is really good information because there are a lot of people out there that don't really know a whole lot about it. Obviously they know that a relapse is whenever you start to use again, but they may not know their specific triggers and everything.
Okay.
All right. So, just going over it really quickly, there's an emotional, a mental, and a physical type of relapse. So, emotional relapse is whenever you're not thinking about using, but your emotions and behaviors are setting you up to possibly use.
Yeah.
So, do you mind giving me an example of a time when you tried to quit using before and something like this comes up?
I think probably it has to do with like everybody I know. All of my friends and my boyfriend are all heroin addicts also. And so I think it's going to be really hard, like, not to be around my friends because if I go back into the same group of people, then I'm probably going to
Exactly.
get back involved in, the whole thing. And I think that's going to be a really hard process for me because I'll feel really alone.
Exactly. And I completely understand that. That is one of the hardest parts is trying to find yourself a new circle. So, a large part of this is early relapse prevention. So, what are a few actions that you think you can take to sort of try to find a new group of people? I'm not saying that you have to, immediately cut off everybody. That's near impossible. But what are some small steps you think you could take?
Well, I think I have to do outpatient stuff after this inpatient discharge. And so I think maybe just continuing to go to the group meetings, and just be around other people that are going through the same thing, kind of lean on that support system, and then try to reconnect better with my family. Because nobody in my family uses anything. So I think, as long as I surround myself with, clean people, that it will be easier for me.
Exactly. And that's actually an example of self-care. So we're going to add that as part of your self-care plan.
Okay.
What do you think are another sort of more what do you think is another good example of like a realistic self-care sort of action that you could take? Because I know that you also said that you're a mother before whenever we spoke last time. So I know that for mothers, it's kind of hard. You don't have that time to really take a nice hot bath or write a journal or anything. So what's something you think is realistic for you?
Maybe just, like a 5-minute countdown, kind of just breathing exercise to just kind of recenter myself when I'm feeling a little bit anxious or whatever.
Okay.
The stuff that we talked about before in group.
Definitely. All right. I think that those are two really great examples. Like I said, obviously, I know that it's going to be a little, and I want you to know it's going to be a little bit difficult at first. You've been in here with all of us. You can run to us whenever you have any issues. And that's why I'm talking with you about this today because I want you to be prepared for whenever you leave.
Okay.
So I want to tell you a little bit about the mental relapse. So it's sort of just like what you were just talking about. It's that feeling. It's kind of like a war going on in your mind, and you can think back on times of whenever you're using and sort of romanticize it or glamorize it.
Yeah.
So, what are some of those mental urges for you?
I think a lot of it has to do with like my physical pain. The physical pain I'm in makes me very emotional. And so it's going to be hard because that's how I ended up where I was at anyway. Um, so when my body hurts, like when I'm having a fibromyalgia flare, it's going to be hard for me not to. I just have to figure out how to deal with that differently, like stretches and, like you said, hot baths and, you know.
Exactly. So, with part of this, there are a couple of examples in here, but just like how we went over with the past one, I want to sort of have you tell me something that may be a little bit more realistic to you if you don't have time for these, you know. So some of these include like distracting yourself, waiting about 30 minutes, just sort of giving yourself time to let that thought pass.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what exactly would you plan on doing if, let's say, you come, across a deep memory of a time where you were using and it didn't feel that bad?
Probably just trying to remind myself of like all the times when it was really bad, like when it hurt the people that I care about the most, or when I was really sick, when I couldn't fix, or when I overdosed. Try to remind myself of those kind of things and just remember why I don't want to go back there.
I think that's a really great idea, honestly. So the last one, like I mentioned in the beginning, is a physical relapse. It's when you really do start to think about using, and this could potentially lead to you using again. And this can include even if it's not the same as how you were using before. Let's say, I know that you said that you were injecting it, but this can even include snorting it and everything else. So what do you think? I don't mean to put it out there, and I'm not saying that you will, but this is just to speak more on just in case. You always want to have a plan just in case. Who do you think would be the first person that you would reach out to if you found yourself in that predicament?
Probably my daughter. Just let her know that I'm struggling, but I'm trying really hard, and I just need to be with somebody right now. And then maybe my counselor.
Do you think that working with both of them, that they would be able to help you to find another rehab program or a way to come back here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that you are sort of having some assistance with paying and everything. Again, because last time we spoke about your insurance, do you think that you would be prepared if you would have to go someplace different, just, if costs were different?
I mean, if it gets bad, I will go wherever I have to go. Sometimes you don't get a choice.
All right. Well, I think that you've definitely made some really great ideas here, and I hope that these do help you out a little bit.
Okay.
So just a quick overview. Like you said, you'll give yourself a little bit more time to think. I've noticed that was something that was really big in all of that, and I think that that's a really great idea. Sometimes even if it's not with using, you sort of just, your thoughts are running all over the place and you can end up doing something else too. And reaching out to your peers, that's really great. A lot of people in our outpatient program that you're about to go to are people that were obviously here before. And I've noticed that people that go to outpatient, they usually form really strong bonds with each other. So I think you'll have a really great time with that, especially if you can find people that have similar, a a similar history that you have.
That's what I'm hoping for. Just be around people that, understand where I've been, but also are trying to go the same direction that I want to go.
All right.
So I have high hopes. I'm not, I just hope that I'm able to find better people to be around.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with being positive, and nothing wrong with being positive as long as you have a plan. All right. Well, thank you again for coming with me to go over this
Sure.
and, being able to speak about this.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And in the next couple of days, I'll have you come back to my office and we can go over your official discharge plan.
Okay. I'm excited. All right. Thank you.